Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our webinar on tech pack creation to help drive efficiency and collaboration. We're so excited to have all of you here today and go through this conversation. To kick off, we're going to start with some introductions. My name is Amy Sakalian. I'm head of sales and customer success. My team oversees the whole customer journey and is really passionate about making sure our customers are achieving the outcomes and value for why they bought our solution. I've been with the company for about 5 years. Prior to working on the software side of things, I spent the majority of my career in the fashion industry, working for a small designer in New York City, and then some larger global retailers such as Net-a-Porter, Mr. Porter, and The RealReal. Natalie, I'll hand it over to you.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I am Natalie Klauk, our Director of Customer Onboarding and Education. Been with the company about 5 years now and primarily kind of focus on getting our customers up and running, helping Solution, move current workflows into Backbone. And prior to Backbone, about 8 years of experience in the apparel industry, like Amy said, and worked on the merchandising and buying side. I'll hand it over to you, James.
Thank you very much. James Costa here, Vice President of Go-to-Market for Sales and Marketing at Frontier, which is a digital product creation company that specializes in fabric digitization. 25 years experience in the industry, longtime Backbone user, former team member. So I'm super excited to go through today. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, Natalie and James. Before we get into it, we're just going to go over a high-level agenda. So if you're not familiar with Bamboo Rose, we're going to start with an overview of Bamboo Rose and what we do. Then we'll dive into the discussion with James, kind of understanding what the tech pack creation was like prior to implementing a solution and what it was like after. Then we'll go into the live event, the live demo of Backbone. Finally, we'll finish up with Q&A. If you guys do have any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to chat them in. We'll cover them at the end of the session. And if we don't have time, we'll follow up after the event. We are recording the session, so if you do want to refer back or share it with any colleagues, you'll have the opportunity to do that, which we'll also share with you after. So just to start, an overview of Bamboo Rose and what we do. So Bamboo Rose is a leading retail management platform for the retail brand and supplier community, covering all aspects of product development and supply chain management, really helping our customers get from concept to creation fast, driving a more collaborative and efficient supply chain. So retailers and their partners are supported by our portfolio of business applications, which starts with the PLM. Our sourcing and supplier management capabilities seamlessly connect retailers and their suppliers across the globe. Next comes our PO management solution and our logistics and financing. Today, we're going to focus on the PLM solution Backbone, which is really where the process gets started with tech packs. So Backbone was founded in 2014 with a vision of creating a PLM made by designers for designers. Earlier last year, Backbone was acquired by Bamboo Rose. Our mission is to tame the concept to launch PLM workflow. Backbone really fits well into that model, delivering solutions for the front-end design workflows that complement the strengths of Bamboo Rose. So as you can see, starting with design and development and moving all the way through to delivery to warehouse. And so just to kind of get started, we're going to kick off the conversation with James and Natalie to hear about the tech pack creation process. Natalie, I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks, Aim. So as most of you guys know, the tech pack is truly the core of your product development process and provides your factories with the key technical information to help you produce a product. So for many of you, tech packs are more than likely currently being created in what we like to refer to as the duct tape workflow, which essentially means you're taking multiple files from different systems, tools, departments, and providing them to your factory in a lot of different ways. Because this information is obviously being created and managed in multiple different places, this naturally results in a very fragmented, manual, and static workflow. That's really where Backbone comes in. The tech pack becomes more of a collaborative, dynamic document, combining all your key components from sketches, bill of materials, size specs, and standardizing that PDF document that is really a repeatable and easily digested piece of information for you in your factories. So that being said, would love to bring James into this conversation and have him walk us through what, the business looked like prior to implementing Backbone. James, can you kind of start by just diving into what TechPack creation looked like for you prior to Backbone?
Sure. I mean, you mentioned the duct tape workflow, which was essentially how we operated. So, that means using Illustrator, using other Adobe products, mixed with things like Excel and other Microsoft products to fuse together really a blueprint, obviously, that the factory would then use to turn concept into creation. That coupled with email created, a process that worked, but there are a lot of processes that work out there that aren't necessarily efficient because, we were using a lot of static data. And static data is where you get into a lot of trouble. And I definitely did over the years. Error prone, lack of communication in certain areas that wasn't replicated in others. The ability to have to, go into every single page, even though it was once again workable, it just wasn't efficient. And what I was realizing was, as I started to update, let's say 20 pages of a document, if I didn't update every single static field with the necessary information, that was creating a lot of errors that resulted in either poor sampling or even in a worst case, poor bulk production, right? And that's the last thing any of us want. So it was disjointed. It was a difficult process. And when I was introduced to Backbone, all that changed.
That's awesome. Feels like it was a very manual process. How long did TechPack creation usually take you prior to Backbone?
I would typically put aside, and this is when I got efficient, when I became efficient, I should say, usually 45 minutes per tech pack. That was, once again, because I had to dive into every individual page, ensure that all of the information was correct, get another set of eyes on it for review, have my eyes on it again for review. I was able to cut that down significantly, and we can get into that in a little bit, but that was the typical time I would take for a tech pack. And if I had multiple styles and a number of SKUs, it could have been a 2-week process to plan to get those out. So it was definitely time consuming, I'll put it that way.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned, just kind of the manual efforts and that it was workable, but it just required a lot of time. Do you have any examples of when kind of the manual process or what you were doing failed you? You mentioned like sampling errors, even issues with production. Any specific moments you can think of?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the biz now for 25 years, so unfortunately I have too many of those prior to Backbone. Really, honestly, a lot of sampling issues where one page just wouldn't be updated with the proper trim or code. So you'd get, items back with the wrong buttons or the wrong zippers. And when your business relies on salesman samples and things to sell and to be quick and nimble and really to be first to market if you can, those can be very costly. Not just from a time perspective, but then inevitably from a financial perspective. So yeah, I've had a number of issues there. And then we had, unfortunately, we had 1 or 2 issues at bulk where something similar happened. So people were delivered very, interesting product at one that slipped through and then one that was caught. We were able to obviously eat that product, but once again, that's just can be detrimental to the business depending on how large that run is.
Yeah, definitely. So tell me, what was the final straw or kind of the moment you realized you needed a system to kind of start helping you manage these processes?
I don't necessarily know that there was a final straw as much as an aha moment, right? When I was introduced to Backbone, I instantly understood and grasped the concept of dynamic data. Meaning that if I were to update something in one part of the system, everywhere that custom field that it allows you to create in the system is connected to gets that update. And for me, that was worth its weight in gold, both from a time and money perspective. So it was more of an aha moment to say, I've had enough mistakes in the past. This is a system that doesn't require no oversight or checks, but a lot less, right? I didn't have to open up every single page because I had peace of mind to know that that data was being updated in real time.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's move into what it looks like now that you're using Backbone. Aim, I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks, Natalie. James, you painted a really good picture about what it was like before implementing Backbone. I think a lot of the attendees could probably relate to, some of the things and examples you brought up. I'd like to dive in what it's like now. What does the tech pack creation look like for you now? You said it used to take you 45 minutes, up to 2 weeks. How much time does it take you, and what does it look like now?
I've gotten that down for a new style to probably 15 minutes. And in all honesty, to be really transparent, there are some styles that take way less, just depending on what the updates might be. If I'm updating a new fabric in something, that's easy, right? There's one update there in terms that I know it's going to push through. Whereas even in the old tech pack, right, I would have to go into every single page where that was listed and find it.
Yeah.
And if I missed one, then there you go. So to 3 to 4x the efficiency on my businesses, that's not even a decision that's difficult to make or that takes a lot of time to make. So when Nat was asking about the last straw, it wasn't that. It was more like, okay, I'm going to save a lot of time. I'm going to save a lot of money, and let's talk about the process, right?
Yeah.
The whole game is getting your samples out into the market. If you're not DTC solely. But even so, if you are, just getting that product out into the market as quickly as possible. So with Backbone, what I noticed was that we were actually able to do that. And kind of going back when I had that hybrid business, to show buyers even 2 to 3 weeks earlier was huge for us, because that meant that we were getting in front of them before others were. So that was that, okay, this is really going to work for us. And then on the production side, just being that far ahead, if I can have more floor time to sell, I'm going to have a better sell through at the end of the season. So it really helped from that perspective, right? From if you look at it through that lens, sometimes people don't think about those weeks being beneficial, but they can really impact the business.
I'm sure. Yeah, we hear that all the time of having to, when you're getting to production and having to air things in because things are running late. So there's a lot of impact down chain, I guess, as well. What would you say, what features outside of the tech pack have provided value to your business?
I would say the Adobe Illustrator plugin, and then obviously the Item Master. Now, if you look at the plugin, that once again, it's an efficiency tool, right? It allows you to stay very quick and nimble and not have to leave Illustrator and hop back and forth. So to be able to go in, update any flats, or tech flats or drawings that needed to be updated, and then just to push them into Backbone and know that it's going there, I can then stay in Illustrator and work through all of those styles that need that. And then when I do go over into Backbone, it's all there for me. So that's been a game changer. And then obviously the Item Master. Spreadsheets are still a big part of our business. So to be able to roll up collections holistically and filter them down to the way that I need, either by vendor, by style, or whatever that filterable way might be. It helps me be very efficient, and once again, not having to leave the system.
Yeah. And I guess the next piece is with tech packs, kind of coming back to that, communicating those more effectively with your factories. Before, I'm sure you were sending these spreadsheets and emailing. How has it helped you communicate with your factories now more efficiently?
Yeah, well, I still email, obviously, right? But the difference is I used to have to find a variety of ways to send bulk tech packs over there, right? And now I can share those directly from the system as well. So that was a big difference. To be compartmentalized in a bunch of different ways can often cause mistakes. So to just even have that small thing to where I can just dump them in the folder and automatically share was huge, because I had to come up with a lot of creative ways that APAC kept shutting down, and then I have to find a different way. But Backbone has worked for me for a number of years over in Asia. So this was just another positive step in that direction.
Awesome. So just to summarize, it sounds like you've got a lot of positive outcomes out of using Backbone for tech pack creation, and it was very manual before. disparate systems, really not having that one source of truth, standardization of your tech packs. I feel like you've always talked about libraries and templates and things like that, but could you just tell us a little bit more of how you think it's improved your business?
Yeah, you talked about standardization of data, really, is I think what you were getting at. And there's an undervalued thing that I think people sometimes overlook, and it's the format in which information is delivered and consumed, right? If I'm a factory and I'm consuming information in a very easy to digest manner, which is what the Backbone tech pack, if you know what it looks like, that's what it is, as opposed to the traditional way in Illustrator where you've got that style and then you have all of this writing that's around it that you
Yeah.
sometimes have to shrink down. Whereas in Backbone, it's all organized on the right-hand side. So when they get a standardized document that's easy to digest, I've actually gotten a lot of comments. This is funny. I don't even know if we've ever talked about this, but a lot of the factories always say to me, like, wow, your tech packs are incredible. And it's because of the way that it's organized and delivered. So I think that there is something to be said about that. Whether or not that increases the efficiency probably varies from vendor to vendor, but overall, I've definitely gotten those comments. So, not only do they appreciate it, but once again, it just kind of speeds up the process because they know exactly where to find everything every single time that you send them a tech pack.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thanks so much, James. Natalie, I'll hand it over to you to dive into the live demo. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds good. Let's
Awesome.
get to it. Hold on. Share my screen here. All right, before I get started, you guys can see Backbone.
Yep, looks good.
Okay, great. So let's kick off here on the main page. This is going to be your global dashboard. So where you're able to access all the Backbone modules. Backbone's really built off of a series of interconnected libraries, as James mentioned, which we like to refer to as dynamic data, which really means essentially if you're updating information in one place, it's flowing throughout the app. So today we're going to spend most of our time within the product library. The product library is going to be where you can easily search, filter, and access all your product data based on key attributes that you create and customize based on your business needs. So as you can see here, we've got the ability to search by style name or style number, and then you have this filter tool, which is connected to all of the information that you're capturing within your product records. Jumping into the product itself and the tech pack specifically, you'll be first brought into the summary page. And the summary page is going to be comprised of all of the key data attributes that we call custom fields, as James referred to earlier. These are going to be necessary fields that you're tracking throughout the product development process, and these fields can be set up as drop-down menus, date fields, and checkboxes. Really just ensuring the standardization of inputs, as James mentioned, just like I think it's one of those things that is underrated sometimes, but making sure everyone's speaking the same language throughout the process is really important. In addition to kind of filling out these values as you're creating that tech pack, this is also simultaneously creating the front page of your tech pack for your the information that you'll be sharing with the factory. So the front page of your tech pack is going to be key to providing your factory with all of the key information that's specific to this product record. So these might be things like style name, style number, season, launch dates, anything that you choose to share with them. Think of your Adobe Illustrator tech packs or your Excel tech packs. There's typically like a header at the top that's capturing all of that information. That's really being created here. And simultaneously, this information doesn't just stop on the front page of your tech pack or on the summary page. This information is dynamically connected throughout the app. So you're going to hear that dynamic data term a lot, but really all of this information is flowing out into our other tools and libraries so that you're updating information in one place and that information is flowing out and making it easy to kind of query and generate both data-driven and visual reports downstream. So again, kind of going back to just reducing the manual efforts involved for tracking your product throughout that process. James, I know this has been a huge game changer for you. You mentioned it. Do you have anything to add here before I move into color?
No, I mean, look, the ability to organize the custom fields and have peace of mind that they're going to push, throughout the system was what I was referencing. We're just now seeing it in real time. Changing these in line, being able to organize every aspect of the business, right? Like you can see general custom fields, you can see sample tracking, you can see merchandising and costing, all the way through production if you want. So it literally allows you to manage your business at the style level. And then everyone in the organization has the ability to get in here and kind of fill out what's pertinent to them. So I mean, you nailed it in that regard. But this is, you're kind of seeing the time, money, and peace of mind all rolled up here into a visual.
Yeah, and creating just one singular place that people can collaborate and fill in the information that all comes together downstream. So moving into color, so in addition to kind of defining the fields for this product record, you can quickly assign your color variations using your palette libraries. So again, going back to that library term, Backbone actually has a partnership with Pantone. So we offer access to 11 total Pantone libraries when you're creating colorway swatches. And really that just kind of helps with simplifying and standardizing your colorway process so that you can easily have all the information that you need when going into sampling for a product. All right, so on the left-hand side, you'll see the key components that make up your tech pack, and each of these sections come together to create that final PDF tech pack that you're sharing with your vendors. The image section is going to be where you're storing all of your design files or sketches related to this product. Backbone actually accepts a wide variety of file types, such as Adobe Illustrator, PDFs, JPEGs, PNGs, Photoshop files, and these can be uploaded directly into the system, either using our in-app uploader tool or, as James mentioned, the Adobe Illustrator plugin. And I will pull that up here so you guys can see what that looks like. So the Adobe Illustrator plugin really allows you to seamlessly add and update files throughout your development process without having to leave Adobe Illustrator, which is kind of our comfort zone, I know, as designers. And as you can see, all I need to do is simply search for the product record that I'm looking for here. I can select the product record, and then I can see the files that have been updated. So I can either add a new file or update existing. As we know, that changes never really stop throughout the development process. So Backbone is also tracking all of the history throughout that process and saving those files that you are updating. So if we click into the version history, we can access that over on the right-hand side. And if at any point you want to revert back to an old, update, you can come in and download or name these different versions. The last piece of the image section that I want to touch on is our in-app annotation tools. So the image annotator allows you to quickly and efficiently create your callouts using the in-app dynamically connected libraries. Really not having to rewrite the same fabric name, stitch type, or construction detail over and over again can really help, simplify the creation process. So reducing the amount of manual effort. As you can see here, the marker tools over on the left-hand side allow you to come in, just search your item by name or code. So if I'm looking for my knit fabric, for example, I can quickly create those annotations and they'll be listed over on the right-hand side. Moving into the bill of materials, this is where you're going to create your list of fabrics, trims, labels, and packaging, or the components that are required for creating this product record. The Backbone bill of materials is created by searching components from your component library. Again, that connection. As simple as searching by your name or your code for that specific fabric. This helps create consistency and standardization across all of your different users and your outputs. Users also have the ability to import from a bill of material template for commonly used silhouettes, trim packages, or they can choose to import from another product that might have similar construction, components, and detailing. Once your components are set, you can also make your color-specific selections using the bill of materials, so you can clearly communicate the specifications for each product colorway. All right, moving into the size specification. So Backbone makes it easy to create your initial specs and track the iterations of size specification throughout the development process. So when you're creating your initial spec, you can either leverage a previously created block, which can store standardized grades and size ranges. You can pull a spec from another product record that's similar, or you can even import from an Excel document using our CSV importer tool. Or if you're creating a spec completely from scratch, you can build the spec manually by searching your point of measure library. See here, it'll bring up all of my options and I can begin to build. And then once it's time to measure your sample and fit your sample, we have measure mode, which creates a clean and easy way to kind of capture and audit your sample. During that process, track all of that history over on the right-hand side here and keeps all of your sample data in one singular place. And in conjunction with the size specification and measure mode specifically, the feedback and revision section gives you one place to capture and summarize all of your feedback and communicate changes for each sample stage. One of the biggest challenges I feel like we hear from a lot of customers is being able to kind of quickly access and find, things that have changed throughout that process. So this really kind of gives you one singular source of truth that all team members can access and refer to throughout that product's life cycle. And in addition to the feedback that you're capturing here, during your sample stages and your fitting process, you might take pictures of those samples and want to communicate directly to the factory. So within these images, you also have an annotation tool where you can drop comments directly on those images. So not having to take that into Excel, which isn't great with handling images, or, PDF, Adobe Acrobat, Illustrator, you can do it all right in one place. Right, so that kind of finally brings us to the grand finale, which is the PDF Tech Pack. So as I mentioned earlier, the Backbone Tech Pack is created by combining all the data that's built out within this product record. Each Tech Pack can be generated with the important information at that sample stage that you want to communicate, so really eliminating any of the extra noise to your vendors. So again, I can kind of pick and choose what I want to include in each PDF as I'm going through the process. The PDF Tech Pack is clean, clear, and easy to digest, as James said. If we take a look at here, you can see our front page, which is a collection of all the values that we're applying into that summary page that we choose to display on the Tech Pack. We've got our callouts, colorway images, our bill of materials, size specification, and any of our comments that we're looking to communicate. The PDF Tech Pack is also unique in that we allow you to include any additional files that you need to share with the factory. So whether that be artwork files, cost sheets, pattern files, with really no limit to size. So you can include everything in one sort of package and share with them, and they can access it all in one file. Once these are ready to be shared, within the Tech Pack ledger, you have two sharing options, either using our shared folder application, as James mentioned, so adding all of these Tech Packs into one place that the factory can go in, log in, and download those Tech Packs, or you can use our unique links and share those via email, via Slack, or any communication tools that you use with your factory. Those links, again, will include both that PDF as well as any additional files you choose. All right, I think that kind of wraps up the demo for today. I'll hand it back over to you, Aim, to kick off Q&A.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Natalie. I'm just going to go through a couple questions that came in. It looks like one came in from Heidi on the bill of materials. When you can input from another product, is it the whole BOM or can you do specific lines? So in that scenario, it's the entire BOM, Heidi. And then if you want to have specific sections or, for example, packaging and pull-in packaging, we recommend using our BOM templates, which are built out kind of in the beginning stage for any of those core groupings of components or packaging that you want to pull into your products. Natalie, this question will be for you. How long does it typically take to get onboarded and up and running in the platform?
Yeah, so I would say Backbone's unique in the sense that we can get people up and running very, very quickly. I mean, as soon as you log in, you can begin building products. Typically, we say onboarding or implementation is somewhere around 45 to 60 days. And we offer, you know, support in helping you kind of translate your current workflow into the system.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Does anyone else have any questions for today? All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. Oh, we got another one just came in, so just we can answer it. I think we have a couple minutes left, but can we record factory emails to be able to send tech packs? So right now, it's all of the emails are being done throughout in your email, so they're not recorded in the system. You send the tech packs from the system, and then all of the correspondence happens in your email from there. And I think the last question is just, is the demo going to be posted? And it will be posted, and we'll share it after the event. Well, I want to give a huge thank you to James for joining us today. So thank you so much, James. We really appreciate you being here. I think hearing from a customer that's used the platform makes a big difference. And I think we all, you know, are coming from Excel, disparate systems. So it really, you know, helps paint that picture of the benefits that it provides. And Natalie, thanks so much for going through the demo. We'll share this after. Thank you again. Have a good rest of your week, everyone. Bye-bye.